What's going on, Charles Botensten? Today we're going to be talking about happiness. So essentially, first of all, let's just go into what is happiness. All right, and obviously the definition keeps on changing in my own mind, but I have a really good idea of actually what it is. Before I would actually say that happiness is something that when this happens, then you be happy. When you go to the gym, you be happy. I actually just did a video and Alabet, should I say, a good video about conditional happiness. That you're conditional on something. Well, like what is unconditional versus what is conditional? We'll go over that first. Number one is that conditional means that when something happens, that it's like conditions. When something happens, then you will feel, then you will do, then you will actually take action. When I feel motivated, then I'll take action. When I'm drunk, then I will approach that guy or that girl. When I feel I'm ready, or when I'm old enough, or when I have the money, then I will da-da-da. That's conditional, okay? When I get a lot of money, when I get my paycheck, when I go to the gym, when I eat right, then I will feel happy or I will feel good or whatever the case is. That is conditional. When my spouse or my partner or my whoever you're dating or whatever the case is, when my kids or my parents, when they do this, they take out the trash, they say I love you, they are laughing, then I will love them or then I will laugh. That is conditional. Unconditional is when you're in an argument and you're done. I'm not saying that you're not going to be mad. It's just, do you still love them? Or be like, I hate them. I don't ever want to talk to them again. It's like, do you still have that unconditional love? And this is for yourself. You know, in the actual video, I was talking about unconditional love for yourself. I would always beat myself up if I didn't do a complete morning routine. Is that I would say, you're a piece of shit. What are you doing? You skipped the meditating. You can't meditate. You don't know what you're doing. Da, 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 whatever the case is. I can't believe you didn't make any sales calls today. And I would beat myself up. Excuse me. That means I was conditionally happy. I was conditionally doing something that unless something happened, unless I did, then I wasn't happy or then I wasn't confident. So think of an area in your life that only until something happens or until you feel something, then you will like them or you will like yourself or you'll love yourself or you'll accept yourself. That's the biggest thing is that I feel like so many people, they don't accept themselves. For 31 years, you know, I'm 31 now, but up until about a couple of months ago, I didn't understand this. So the younger you are, the more you have to understand this is that most people, they don't accept themselves. They only accept themselves when they do something right or when they're praised or when they get an honor or when they get an award or when they get an A on a test. Then they accept themselves. But if they don't, if they're not the best, if they're not number one, they hate themselves. They don't, maybe hate's a tough word, but they don't accept themselves. They're not confident. And that's the biggest thing is that you have to, regardless of what happens, it's so hard, I understand, is that you completely accept yourself, you completely accept other people around you, or the other case around is that you completely accept only when people agree with you, or when they have the same mindset, when they're only positive, or when they're only in your religion or your class or your team or your political party. That's the only time you accept that person or those people. Like that's conditional. That is conditional. So we have to understand that because most people, including myself up until a couple of months ago, it took me 31 years of just, I had no idea what I was talking about. And then for the last 10 years, I was getting a little bit of a better understanding. Now I'm at the point where I'm like, wow, I can't believe I went as far as I did. And this is what happened, which was I needed conditions. I needed something to happen before I was happy. So number one is, you have to cut out, this is number one to be happy right now. You have to cut out things that you know, cut out. I'm not saying start doing, but cut out things that they don't serve you. And I'm talking about people. You know, there's people involved that in your life and in my life that I don't need. I don't need these people. They don't bring anything to my life. They don't bring any value. And in fact, they actually bring down the moment. They bring down me. They squash the dreams. They're comfortable. And then that comfortability is just instilled in you. That osmosis is instilled in you. And then you say, you know what? I'm not going to strive for more. I'm not going to be better. I'm not going to blah, blah, blah. So number one is cut out So that's people. What are things in your life you need to cut out? Social media, news, drama, reality TV in general, to be honest. What is a TV station? What is that? It's a business. TV stations are a business. People don't understand that. They're there not they're there to entertain you, so your eyeballs are on the commercials. And they only do that to make sure that the entertaining between the commercials are, because everything between commercials costs money. Everything. The actors, the sets, the playwright, the producers, the editors, the music, everything costs money between commercials. The only reason they have a channel is because of those commercials. That's the only reason they have, unless they're non-for-profit, or unless they're Charles, where you're me, where I'm not selling you anything, I'm not making money from you. There are no commercials, and it just doesn't happen. ESPN, HGTV, Bravo, any ABC, NBC, Fox, whatever, CNN, they all just pump out things to bring your attention to them. I don't give a shit about politics. I literally just did a book review about something that I needed in my life. The book is by Mark Manson. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And if you're offended by that, perfect. The book is for you because you cared that I either cursed. And by the way, I'm just saying the book title. Imagine Mark, the people that said that is a very inappropriate book. Well, listen, I'm glad you're offended, because that means if you're offended by a book title, that means you're offended by everything. And that's the thing, is that if we care about everything, then we don't care about anything, because our attention is everywhere. And by nature and by attention spans, we there's no depth to that. So cut out the people and the things that don't serve you. I'll just give you things that I've cut out in my life. TV, negative people, any kind of magazines outside of the magazine called Wilderness, which is a really cool, it's like a guy magazine where, you know, they go on trips and everything else. There's no bullshit behind it. The other magazine is What Doctors Don't Tell You, or What Doctors Won't Tell You. I don't know, one of those. Look at the magazine. It will blow your mind. I think that is by far the best magazine that I've ever subscribed. I'm never going to give that subscription up. It's called What Doctors Won't Tell You, and it's exactly that. Doctors are there to make money. Prescriptions are there to make money. The food industry is there to make money. The Food and Drug Administration, we feel, the FDA, we feel that they're on our side. Come on, let's be honest. You know, make your own decisions. So cut things out. Talking about food, I cut out anything. Okay, so that's magazines that aren't good. Books, any kind of news. I don't watch any news. I don't have a TV. And why? Why? I'll just tell you this. The reason I don't have this is because I have addictive personality. If I am on a subject, say science or whatever, I read everything about that, like immediately. Brian Greene is the guy that did that PBS special called something about the universe, the cosmos or something like that. Unbelievable PBS special. And essentially, just even thinking about watching or even taking time is the only asset we don't get back. You already know that. But the thing is, how do you spend your time? Because that's really what it is. You're spending it. It's like money. You don't get it back. Well, money you get back, but you're literally buying either time back or you're wasting it. So number one, obviously I already discussed all that garbage. Number two is applications in games. Applications on your phone that just don't serve me. They're just a waste. It's my outlet. I eliminated all those. I only have, I don't know, like 40 apps on my phone. I don't use it besides I take a photo, I put it up on social media. Talking about social media. Cut out all social media. I don't really consume social media. The only thing I really consume a little bit is Instagram stories. Facebook, I don't really care. I scroll through the ones that I have starred on top. So that's Tony Robbins, good quotes, a couple other people, Les Brown, who's the guy from California that wrote the book Bold, Peter Diamandis. So they're starred and their posts come up first. All my friends and everything else, I don't give a shit. Like I care about them, but usually what they post is something I don't really care. You know, baby photos or whatever. But like if Tony Robbins posts a video, that's going to give me way more value than me looking at someone's baby photos. Like, I care about that they have a baby and everything, but listen, the value of a video is way better. When I'm with my buddy, that's a little bit different because my attention is with them and the family and everything like that. Okay, excuse me, continuing on. Eliminate social media and everything else. Okay, the last thing is food. Okay, you have to eliminate shitty food. You have to eliminate shitty food. Okay, this is there is way too much science that is coming out right now that your gut controls literally everything. You're sleeping. There's the magazine I was just talking about. It controls your sleeping. It controls your mood. It controls your blood insulin levels. I think that's what it's called. Where, in other words, if you have a spike in insulin, a spike in blood sugar, that quote unquote gives you the crash, the 2 p.m. crash that everyone talks about. There is no crash. Okay, but if you had a level amount of food through your day, there is no crash. You like right now, it's 12:49. I just did 8 15-minute videos. I'm doing this podcast. I'm going to do the BPI, which is my company, the podcast after that. I have an insane amount of work to do after this because we're putting a home on the market tomorrow. And I know that I need to control my energy levels. I need to control what I put in my body because if I spike and then I crash, which is a real thing, that's the thing, is it's a real thing. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but the problem is you have to avoid that. So how do you avoid that? That means you don't have a massive meal, because when you have a massive meal, all of your energy, your body's energy goes to digestion. And if all of your body's energy goes to digesting all this food, you have no energy to make a sales call, to go to the gym, to move around, to do something that you actually want to do. So eliminate all that. This isn't even taking action. This is all about eliminating. See in your life that eliminates. Number 2, here we go. That was just number 1. Number 2 is have deep, meaningful conversations. This is something I heard from Tony Robbins' wife. What's her name? I forgot her name. But she actually said it in the documentary, I Am Not Your Guru. And she was like, we only like deep, meaningful conversations. If you're not having a deep, meaningful conversation, she's like, I don't even really want to talk. Because what are you talking about? The weather, politics, which I don't follow. I don't give a shit. Drama. It's known as water cooler talk, which is, did you hear Bob at the latest meeting? He told me that I have to finish the project with Allison. I hate Allison and da-da-da. It's like, what? What? Really? That's what you're going to be talking about? You have very limited amount of time, and you're going to be spending your time talking about Bob giving you a project with Allison who you don't like. That's not a conversation I want to participate in. So you have to be aware of where these surface level conversations, most conversations are surface level. How do you get a deep, meaningful conversation? You ask questions. Questions are life. Questions gives you the vulnerability. Questions make sure you don't accept anything that's given to you. This is how things are. Okay, I'm going to go look it up. I'm going to see if the other political party or the other religion or the company or starting a company is that challenging, or actually making a YouTube video is that hard, or whatever the case is, or happiness is actually this. I'm going to check into that. I'm going to read about it. Okay? It's not accepting it, because if you accept it, there's vulnerability behind actually not accepting it, because this is the biggest thing. This is why I love life, because when you question things, that's really where the curiosity, that's really where the deep learning is. So when someone says, I had an amazing day at work, you're like, oh, awesome. Okay, how about you ask the question, why did you have an amazing day? Well, I was just put on this project by Bob, gave me this project with Allison. I love Allison and she's awesome and everything else. We're going to crush it. Holy cow, what's the project about? That is getting a little bit deeper. And then they start talking about, oh, we're going to be doing this thing that's completely revolutionary. No one's ever done it in the banking industry or in the internet industry, or it's a new app. Holy cow, that's a great, what's your business model? Or maybe not even, if they don't want to tell you, or get deeper in a conversation. Don't just hop around. That's surface level. That's how you build comfort with a client, in sales. That's how you build comfort if you are with a girl or a guy. That's how you build vulnerability and connection, all right? So that's number 2. Number 3 is exercise. You have to exercise. I cannot tell you the difference in my mood if I don't. If I don't exercise, I'm a miserable punk during the day. I have all this pent up energy. My mind isn't right. It's all over the place. It's chaos. It's just like a total mess. So you have to actually, and by exercise, I mean, it doesn't have to be just a full blown body to the freaking mat every single day kind of workout. Just go to the gym. That's step number 1. Go to the gym. That's it. And what did I say in step number 1? Cut out the sugar, cut out the processed food, cut out the bread and the bullshit that's just bringing your mood down, bringing your mind down, bringing down your ambition, your energy, your enthusiasm. Like I said, how far are we into this podcast? I don't know, 15, 20 minutes into this podcast. I already did over an hour on video, and I have more energy than ever at any time. And I haven't even had lunch. The last meal I had was at 9 p.m. That was, 5-6 hours ago? So what am I going to do after this? I'm going to get a salad. And I'm not saying I'm Jesus, okay? I make lots of mistakes, and I'm fine with that. I'm completely fine. It's really just recognizing, okay, exercise does me well. I'm going to keep on doing that. Okay, eating well also helps me out. Deep, meaningful conversations helps me out. Number 4, here we go. This is something that nobody really has, but everyone needs, which is a vision or a passion. You need a vision or a passion, and I'll talk about both. Number 1 is, what is a vision? You need to have a rudder for your boat. You're in a boat, the boat is life, and the boat is you, and the sea or the ocean is life. It's like, where are you going to go? What port do you want to go to? You need a rudder to steer there. You need sails. You need other people on board. It's a great analogy for life is that if you don't have a rudder, if you don't know where you're going, you don't have a map, you don't have a compass, you're just in the dur state. You're a sheep. That's what you are. That's what you are. That's what I was. For 25 years of my life, I was a sheep. I was accepting everything. I wasn't questioning anything. I just thought, this is how things are. This is who I am. I can't change. I can't create my life. I can't choose what to do, where to go, how much money to make. Complete and utter bullshit. Okay? Understand that one of the biggest things as I grow older is that not only can you create life, but you actively, second by second, choose how to think, how to feel, what to do, what actions to do, what not to do. Should you clean everything up in your house, or should you do what you've always needed to do, which is paint the garage, clean up the garage, or go on job interviews, look up jobs? That is the biggest thing, is do you have a vision? So how do you get your vision? Which is kind of the part B of this last area, which is your passion. Okay, so how did I find my passion? Well, let's start at age 12 when I started caddying. Age 12, started caddying, which caddying is you carry golf clubs around a golf course. It's pretty brutal work because it's, I'm 12 years old. I'm carrying a 50-pound golf bag and on either shoulder. It's July. But you know what? It's exercise. Outside, vitamin D, you get to network, you get to be around wealthy people, you also get paid pretty well. It is not fun work when you're hungover or you're tired because you have to get there at 6 o'clock at age 12, And I'm not tooting my horn, I'm just saying there is a very big benefit for that pain, that suffering that I went through, which was I like dealing with people. All right, being outside, not my thing. All right, so I could be indoors and outdoors. I like both, so I like dealing with people. Then I moved on. I did door-to-door sales, selling knives, Cutco knives. I already know the whole slang and slogan and everything else. Triple rivet, full tang, and da-da. So I did that. I did engineering. Hated engineering. I said, this is not for me. Did marketing. Sort of liked the marketing part, but I didn't like the 9 to 5. Was like, this isn't really for me. Had an online business. I'm like, I really like this online business stuff. Didn't really do well in that. Did the poker. I was like, I like the gambling aspect. So what I'm really doing is figuring out what I don't like, what I do like. I was a waiter. I was like, okay, I don't like the really bad pay. I was at a diner off I-95 or I-95 or I-80. I think it was I-80 in Pennsylvania, West York Diner, making $30 for 8 hours. Yeah, it was kind of brutal work. I don't even want to talk about it. But I noticed, okay, I like to make a lot of money. But I don't like to not do, or I want to make a lot of money, but I don't want to do a lot for that money. Like I'll put in the value. So that was the thing, is that you're getting what I'm getting at is you need to do a lot of shit. You need to do a lot of shit. You need to just fall on your face. Research doesn't do anything. Actual action, actually executing. I was out with a buddy 2 days ago, and he's talking about this big, bold plan of changing the real estate industry and taking it by storm, and he's getting licensed, and he's going to start this company that's going to wipe out the brokers and everything else. And the reason I'm saying that is because there's already businesses like that. I own a real estate company. I understand there's businesses like that. There's the low end that owners, and I'm fine with it. And it's ripe for destruction. It is definitely ripe for destruction, or I should say for disruption. So my vision for my company, okay, let's just rewind for a second. So what did I like? I liked, and then I went into Oppenheimer funds out of college. Oppenheimer funds, obviously mutual fund company, and I was in the marketing department. I kind of liked the sales department because it was in sales. They had more money. The camaraderie, the bullshit and everything else, the trading floor and stocks and bonds and things I didn't understand. I really liked that. And I didn't like the 9 to 5. And I was like, I got to get out of here. I'm miserable. So I took all of that and I found my passion, which is real estate. Real estate, by far, is not everyone's passion. To be honest, there's only a select few in real estate that actually make any kind of money. Any kind of real money. Everyone else is in it because there's no real boss. They don't tell you when to show up or what to do. It's not 9 to 5. You're an independent contractor. You can dress whatever. You can do whatever. But the thing is, you're not going to last. It's very Darwinian because if you don't make enough money, then you have to go out. There's no biweekly paycheck. There's no insurance. There's no benefits. There's no pension. There's nothing. So you have to understand one thing is as you're actually doing jobs, as you're actually figuring out things, don't just look it up on the internet. Actually do the thing, and then you'll start getting your passion. Once you have your passion, then you'll start to say, okay, where do I want to take this? What do I want to do? Do I want to do it online? Do I want to do it in person? Do I want to sell products, services? Where do I want to go? Where do I see myself in 5 years, 10 years? And map it out. I didn't do this. That's why I was just a lost ship. I was a lost sheep being told what to do. So I think I was talking about something really good before, about the vision and the passion and everything like that. All right, anyway, it may come back. But number one is eliminate and cut down on the bullshit of your life. Number two, have deep, meaningful conversations. Number three, exercise. Just move. Move. Get your ass up and move. Number four is you have to have a vision, a passion, something to look forward to, because if you don't think the future is brighter than it is, and then you won't take action, you won't do anything. So those are the 4 steps to immediate happiness. Cut out deep, meaningful conversations, exercise, and have a vision and passion. So if you want me to talk about anything, definitely let me know. I actually like the podcast format because I don't have to worry about people judging me. I don't have to with the eyeballs, which is through video, which is essentially I have to entertain you visually and I have to give you good content. It's not for everyone. So, and going into real estate as well is you have to figure out all the stuff that you like, and then you figure out, and listen, first of all, real estate, I already said that, is not for everyone. But neither is being a doctor or a lawyer, but there's people that love being a doctor, love being a lawyer, love things that you absolutely hate. That's fine. That's cool. Your parents are different than you. Your brother and sister are different than you. Your friends are different than you. So have an awesome day. Let me know if you have any questions. And obviously, subscribe to the podcast. We're on Google Play, iTunes, and everything else. Talk to you guys soon.